Every year, as soon as summer starts coming around, the internet just flips a switch. It's like it's New Year's all over again, and we are called to reinvent ourselves. We have to get a tan, we have to tone our arms, we have to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, and then start our mornings off by romanticizing our ice cubes. When I was a kid, summer was so wholesome. We used to just go out and play with friends. We didn't really worry about our appearances so much. The joy of summer was being able to spend time with those you love and being able to do whatever you wanted, basically. But now summer has become more focused on like the appearances of our bodies and of our wardrobes and just the aesthetics of our lives, and that does nothing at all but take the joy out of what summer used to be. And now it's like a 3-month performance. It's curated, it's optimized, it's aesthetic, and I'm sorry, but I'm not subscribing to that this summer. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through some things that I'm not falling for this summer propaganda that I'm not falling for. So let's get into it. Today's video might be a little bit of a different format, less reactionary and more just talking about the things I've seen online with the clips playing in the background as I'm talking about them. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I know you guys are out doing stuff in the summer, don't have much time to watch 40-minute videos or whatever. So if this video is shorter, if you like this format, just let me know. So this video is about all the summer trends that I've seen being pushed onto viewers that I'm opting out of this summer, not because I don't like fun, but because I'm just tired. I am so tired. All I want is peace. I want financial sanity. I want to feel like, you know what, I can be myself without having to adhere to anyone else's version of attractiveness. And I don't want to have to edit myself into a more seasonally appropriate version. I just want to be me, okay? So the first thing that I am just opting out of this summer, I'm not falling for, is the glow up checklist. If you are a TikTok fiend just like myself, then you've most likely seen this trend, I guess, or this messaging of like, become your hottest self, hot girl summer checklist, glow up this summer. Summer's coming, so you gotta lock in, you gotta get your steps in, you gotta go to the gym, you gotta get tan, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And I'm just over it. I just want to be me. Like, why is being myself such a bad thing? Why do you have to reinvent yourself every single summer and season? It's literally exhausting. You have to have white nails, glowy skin, new matching sets from Aritzia or Amazon, lemon water in a glass cup. You have to go to Pilates, aesthetic daily routines, my 10 minutes for the 10 hours, if you know what I mean, and clean girl makeup with a tan twist. I get the appeal. When you take time and energy and put it into your appearance, you do look put together. You do look put together. But I'm going to call it as I see it, and all it is a rebranded productivity trap. Everyone is more concerned about being the hottest version of themselves every summer that they forget that summer is supposed to be about enjoying your life. Why is enjoying your life just not good enough anymore? Why do you have to look good as you do it too? Like, why are you so obsessed with looking good? What's exhausting about this is that the standard never ends. And as much as we can preach about it online and say that's stupid and just people should be focusing on other things and spending time with loved ones and just enjoying life, we all get sucked into this trap because it's all we see on social media. It's all we're exposed to. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, the more often that you are exposed to something, the more you start to see it as being normal. And honestly, I don't think focusing and becoming so obsessed about your looks is normal. We've talked about this a lot in a couple of my last videos. We went into hot talk, we went into the skinny talk epidemic. Like, we went into all of these appearance-focused critiques. And I feel like during this season, there's a reason for that. And so if you haven't watched those videos, I really recommend you go watch them because some of the messaging and the trends are so damaging to young girls and even young men. Like, the messaging behind it is toxic, and I'm not afraid to admit that. And even if you participate in these trends, the standards never end. There's always another standard to hit. Once you glow up, you need to keep glowing up. You need to keep up with the trends, and you can think you're done. Like, you can think you hit your peak in attractiveness, but then social media finds a new trend to latch onto, and then everything changes and you're starting all over. And I'm all for taking care of yourself. Like, do what's good for you. That's the key point here. Do what's good for you. But a checklist that turns summer into a rebranding campaign? No thanks. I'm out. I do not want to monetize my mornings or turn self-care into a side hustle. There's something that a lot of people don't talk about online, and it's when your hobbies or something you're passionate about, you start filming it, you start getting views, and then it turns into a job, not because you're passionate about it anymore and you actually want to do that thing, but because you have to post about it. And if you guys did not know, I used to do Christian TikTok and Instagram, and I would do uplifting messages with Bible verses and things like that. That was what I did before I did this on YouTube, and I haven't posted there since November of 2024. And the reason for that being is because I wasn't spending time in my Bible because I wanted to spend time in my Bible. I wasn't spending time with God because I wanted to spend time with God and build my relationship with Him. Yes, that is my intention. That was my intention, but it slowly became more about creating content rather than actually doing and enjoying what I was supposed to be doing in the first place, like the whole purpose of it. And so I stepped away from that because I kind of was like, this is not healthy. This is not what it's supposed to be about. I don't want my faith to be so superficial and not real. So I stepped away. I haven't posted there since November 2024. I still get messages today being like, what happened to you? I loved your content, etc. And I don't post there. I don't post there. And I probably won't again for a long time until I feel like I can manage growing my own faith relationship with God and then also creating content and have it be healthy. So anyways, that's a little side tangent. The point being, the reason I brought that up is because when you do a hobby or you bring something so personal to social media, it can quickly change it into something that it was not supposed to be about in the first place and change your intentions behind it. And so that's the dangers there. I've had firsthand experience with that. And I feel like that happens to a lot of creators in the hobby talk space, in self-care space. It becomes more about the content itself rather than the meaning behind the content. And it becomes less authentic, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm opting out of glow up culture because I know that if I ever try to adhere to the standards that they've set this year, that is just going to change next year. It's exhausting, it's toxic, it's unhealthy to be so obsessed with how you look. I'm not subscribing to it. I'm not falling for it. And honestly, I don't think you should either. It's not healthy to be so obsessed with your appearance all the time. The next thing I'm not falling for this summer, the next summer propaganda I'm not falling for is tanning culture. Milano drops, St. Tropez foam, self-tanning lotions, things like that. There's an entire micro industry built around not being too pale for the summer. And the messaging is subtle, but very loud, especially to pasty girls. If you're not tan, you're not ready for summer. If you're not glowy, you're not summer coated. Why are we so uncomfortable with our natural skin tones? This is something I've been asking myself for a long time as a naturally pale girl. Maybe this dress makes me look a little bit more tan than I am, but in reality, I am pasty. I do not tan. I get red as a lobster the minute I go out in the sun. I have tried to tan. It's not happening. There's this overwhelming pressure, especially for fair-skinned ladies, to go out and tan and get a spray tan and do self-tanning at home. So then you're not blinding people the minute you wear shorts and go outside. And I've personally felt that I'm doing people in the outside world a disservice when I show up to any event, to any place, wearing shorts, wearing a dress, showing any skin of any kind, being as white as freaking Casper the Ghost. And you'll get comments being like, oh, I'm blind. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm pale. There's a lot of pale girlies out there. Why has it become normalized to not accept the way your skin color is and more normalized to put chemicals on your body to change your skin color, to expose yourself to skin cancer risks, laying out in the sun, baking and crisping? Why is that normalized? But just letting your skin be not normalized. I don't know if y'all can relate to that. My fellow pasty skin girlies, if you're a pasty skin girly, let me know because you know my struggle. I fell into this trap so much when I was younger. And a couple years ago, honestly, if I'm being completely transparent, I was all about self-tanner. I wanted to be the tannest version of myself I could be. But when I did that, like I kept up with it. But when I did that, I did not recognize myself. Like I am a pale skinned person. And the fact that back then I felt pressured to change the way I look to be more suitable for summer or for other people's expectations of what someone should look like in the summer is quite sad. I don't think anybody should have a say about whether or not I tan for the summer or not. And that goes for all of you too. I don't think anyone should tell you that you're blinding them or whatever. Because all that does is create the pressure like, I have to get tan, I have to get tan, I have to get tan. Nobody's getting tan today because it's a rainy day out here in Ontario, Canada. And I was really hoping for the sun to show, but it's not. But here's the thing that I just want to drill into you guys during this segment. You do not have to be tan to be beautiful. There are so many fair-skinned, beautiful women out there who are just beautiful. They aren't tan. They don't have to be tan. Emma Stone, one of them. Anne Hathaway, another one. There's so many of them that are just out there, and we need to learn to accept the way our bodies are. That's what I'm doing this summer. I'm not self-tanning. I'm not going out to tan outside. I'm going to just let my skin be the way it was meant to be. Clearly, I'm not meant to be tan because the minute I go outside or even try, I get red as a lobster. I get sunburned. So that's the universe telling me I'm not meant to be a tan skin girly. I don't know if some of y'all have seen them on TikTok, but you guys let me know in a recent post I did that there's these things called tanning drops that people will literally drink to change their skin color. Now, just hearing about that does not sound healthy, okay? That does not sound healthy at all. Doesn't sound like something you should be putting in your body, okay? So Milano drops, for example, don't have FDA approval in the US, which means that they aren't suitable to ingest in your body. So just looking at the Milano drop website, it's called the Original Tanning Drops. And what you do with these is you put them in water and they basically make you tan. Their claims are you get a natural tan without UV, promotes melanin, I think I said that right. If I didn't, that's typical. I'm not surprised. Promotes melanin for a more intense tan, vegan, cruelty-free, and non-toxic, dermatology tested and safe, stain-free, layerable. How is it layerable? But then in the application, it says mix 1 drop of Milano drop with 50 milliliters of water. For a lighter tan, you use 5 to 7 drops. For a darker tan, you use 8 to 10. And it says drink twice a day or as advised by your healthcare professional. What healthcare professional is going to tell somebody, you know what, you're too pasty, it's unhealthy. Drink some of these drops to get more tan. Maximum 40 drops per day. Most customers see results within 1 to 2 weeks of use. And in the ingredients, it has a whole bunch of ingredients, which I will put on the screen for you guys. But the first one is beta carotene, which is known to give your skin a more orange color when consumed in excess. Excessive intake of beta carotene, particularly through foods or supplements, can cause carotemia, a condition where the skin develops a yellow-orange hue. It's called a condition, not a benefit, okay? Let's just keep that in mind. It's not normal for supplements you take to change your skin color. There was this one guy who took excess amounts of colloidal silver and his skin turned irreversibly blue, okay? He turned into a real-life human-sized version of a Smurf. This occurs because beta carotene, a carotenoid pigment found in orange and yellow fruits and vegetables, accumulates in the blood and deposits in the skin. While carotemia is generally harmless and often resolves when beta carotene intake is reduced, it can be mistaken for jaundice. Who purposefully wants to look like they have jaundice? That is one piece of propaganda that I've been seeing these influencers promote online that I am not falling for this summer or any summer, mind you. I'm not drinking anything that will make me tan. Past Susannah may have in the past because she was desperate to be tan. But this Susannah, who actually wants to take care of her body, is not going to be putting stuff she doesn't need in her body to affect her appearance, okay? That's not happening. I really recommend you guys do your own research when you consume this kind of stuff. If you're taking anything that has ingredients you don't really need, I think beta carotene is vitamin A. So if you're taking excess amounts of vitamin A that you don't need, that you get a sustainable amount in food and vegetables and things like that, that's unhealthy. You should not be taking vitamins to change your appearance when it doesn't need to be changed in the first place. There's also another piece of propaganda that I've seen a lot of the Amazon influencers pushing on people this summer. It's the same product. And there's a couple of those that I'm going to talk about today, but the one that I've seen the most of are these tanning pools. And basically they're these giant inflatable tanning beds that you put on the ground and you can fill with water. And basically it's supposed to help you get a better tan by like reflecting the water and everything like that. People tan more when their skin is wet. I don't tan. I don't know. All I know is that this is supposed to help you tan faster and get a better tan, whatever. So while you may get a tan from exploring this venture, you're also putting yourself at risk for skin cancer, skin disease, premature aging, and UV risk. And for what? Why? Because you want a little bit of color this summer. I'm sorry, but the long-lasting repercussions of choosing this stuff now is not worth it to me. Another thing that I've seen the Amazon influencers pushing that kind of fit into the tanning category are these little devices that you squeeze sunscreen into. So you squeeze it in, and basically it's a device that helps you layer sunscreen on your skin without having to get sunscreen all over your hands. It is the most pointless piece of equipment I've ever seen. First of all, it doesn't really hold a lot of sunscreen. Second of all, the only point of it is so then you don't get sunscreen on your hands. Do you know how easy it is to just put sunscreen on, take a little bit of water from like a water bottle or something and rub your hands together and clean your hands? It's so easy. So I'm going to read you guys some comments from this one that I have pulled up on my phone. But basically, someone was like, applying sunscreen normally is such a non-issue. However, there is a reason why some people might benefit from this device, from this piece of equipment. And it's for people who have a lot of sensory issues. So someone said some people like myself have sensory issues and hate the feeling and will make it so you don't want to wear sunscreen because of the texture. I think that this is a good option to make it easier for some. So like a lot of the Amazon influencer products that they're pushing, there is a unique demographic that can benefit from most of these items. However, it's when they get labeled as a must-have that I'm just like, no. Or when people are like, I need this. Do you really need it though? Do you really need it? Someone else said it's really not needed. Just buy a spray bottle sunscreen and rub it in. It's simple. Other people are like, you can just apply it normally, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I feel like there is a unique demographic that could benefit from this product. People who have sensory issues, maybe moms who have toddlers who are just a menace and not letting you put sunscreen on their bodies. I don't know. But the average everyday person that does not have any of these situations would not need a product like this. And as every season comes around, we start to see Amazon must-haves all the time. You must have this product during this season. You must have this product. You need to have this. All it is you spending money on things you probably won't really use that often. And all it encourages is impulse spending because you think it looks cool or you think it might be useful. But then a couple weeks down the road, when you've used it maybe 2 or 3 times, you realize, you know what, like you don't even remember where you put it because it doesn't mean that much to you anymore. Another must-have product that a lot of the Amazon influencers are pushing is this ice maker. So basically what it is this contraption that you put water in, like the built-in ice cubes, you put it in your freezer, bring it back out, you take the ice cube trays, you dump it upside down, smash it down, and then you have like this tray that you can scoop ice cubes out of and then put it in your drink. And it's just such a waste of space, in my opinion, not only because it's like $100, okay, but because you can just get ice cube trays and then take them out as you need them. You don't need like a fancy schmancy ice cube tray machine that takes up half of your freezer. So that's another thing I'm not falling for. And then one last product that I'm not falling for that I've seen all over TikTok, all over my free page is the Nespresso travel cup. All I know is that whoever's promoting this item is doing it as a sponsorship or something like that, something along those lines, because it's not from Amazon, it's from Nespresso themselves. We have enough travel cups. We have enough tumblers. We have enough travel cups. We do not need any more. We've had the Stanleys, we've had the Yetis, we've had other options. We don't need this option to contributing to overconsumption and waste. Someone commented on one of these Nespresso travel cup videos and they said, or hear me out, don't use the travel mugs you already have. Don't have one, get a Yeti. And the kicker is that these cups are not even made of glass. They're made out of Triton, which is a BPA-free plastic. It's made of plastic, guys. Someone else asked a great question. Does it fit in a car cup holder? And no, it doesn't. It doesn't. So keep that in mind before you go buying this travel cup, that you can't actually take it with you to travel unless you're holding onto it and driving or you're commuting and not being the person driving. It won't fit in your car cup holder. You have to hold it the entire time. And that's enough to de-influence me from buying a cup. If I can't take it with me when I go somewhere, I'm not going to buy it. You do not need to get the newest edition of a travel tumbler every time something new comes out. They created reusable cups for a reason. It's so then we don't contribute to overconsumption and waste. And then we have companies like this who are literally just pushing products at people, knowing that the market is oversaturated. We really don't need any more options. I'm tired of the tumblers. I'm tired of the travel cups. I'm tired. Next thing you know, we're going to see people starting to collect Nespresso travel cups and have walls of them like they do the Stanleys. Every season, every holiday, consumerism just goes out the window. All of these products that we just talked about and even more are just marketed as just for fun or treat yourself, but everything is just part of the aesthetic, not because it's actually useful, but because it looks cool. Like that Nespresso travel cup, is it actually practical? No. First of all, it's made of plastic. Second of all, it doesn't fit into a cup holder. So what use is it to me? Does it look nice? Sure. Is that the only benefit? Probably. Summer is not supposed to be an aesthetic overhaul. It's a season that comes and goes, and every single year trends are changing. You don't need to go into debt or redesign your kitchen or buy a whole new wardrobe or buy new clothes that fit the fashion trends just because you see a TikTok telling you what to expect this summer.
These are the summer essentials that you want to consider for this year. Primary colors, we're gonna have pastel, pink, yellow, and blue. I currently have my eyes on this gorgeous dress from Sister Jane. If you're on a hunter for a cute blazer in powder pink, you can consider this one from H&M. It's fabric. Tulle is gonna be a thing in maxi skirt like this, in dresses like this. It makes sense considering that we're gonna have a voluminous silhouette. Super cute. You can check this top from Never Fully Dressed or this fun skirt from Free People. Thing that I'm so happy about, the 90s plate are not going anywhere and we are still gonna see it in skirts. By the way, this is from Lisa Says Ga, but also in dresses. They're maxi like this, also mini like this. A good investment will be this one from Burberry. A tank top is gonna be the statement to your outfit. This piece is not only the basic staple to your capsule wardrobe, also that piece that can never let you down because you can style it in so many different ways for literally any occasion. Good quality. There is this one from Arket. You're also gonna have floral prints like this or this. Great investment. In my opinion, it's definitely Zimmerman. They have the most gorgeous dresses and pieces in floral prints that are just chef kiss. Get a bag that represents your personality and it doesn't matter the size, the shape, or the texture as long as it reflects who you are. If I was a bag, I would probably be her. Thank you for listening and let me know if you want part 2.
A lot of this is part of the influencer's job. That's what their job is to influence people to buy things. And a lot of people are making content and aren't disclosing what's gifted, what's sponsored, even though they're supposed to, according to content creator platforms guidelines. You're seeing someone's advertised version of summer and comparing it to your real boring life, thinking that you're missing out when in reality, you're not. You're living a normal life. You see this content and feel like you're missing something when in reality, you're not missing anything at all. You're just witnessing a season that's been filtered, monetized, and flattened into a product haul. So why is this all persuasive? Why do we feel the need to conform? Because the pressure is subtle, but it's there. And as it's constantly being shoved in our faces, it's becoming seen as normal and something that we need to partake in. There's people who are literally yelling at you to change and you're not good enough and everything like that. You need to glow up. You need to do this. You need to do that. And then there's people who are suggesting that you'll be happier if you just buy one more thing, join one more trend, post one more video, become someone you're not just to adhere to these standards. And I feel like women especially are conditioned to shapeshift, essentially, to evolve with the seasons. New school year, new look, new job, new year, time to rebrand. And new summer, better lock in and glow up because summer's coming and you need to look your best. And underneath that is a belief that we are simply just not good enough the way that we are. Not attractive enough, not interesting enough, not relevant enough without changing ourselves to match the algorithm. But you are enough. You are enough, even if you don't tan, even if you don't get your nails done, even if you don't buy a new wardrobe and in fact you're wearing hand-me-downs you've had for years, even if your ice cubes are in a traditional ice cube tray in the freezer, not some fancy ice cube machine tray thing. You don't need a seasonal identity update to be worthy of loving and knowing and interacting with. So yeah, I'm not doing it this year. I'm not buying the tanning drops. I'm not tanning at all. I'm not romanticizing ice. I'm not buying a whole new wardrobe. And I'm not stressing about how I look in a swimsuit. I'm choosing peace, simplicity, doing hobbies that I love, choosing SPF over tanning lotion, and finding real joy slowing down my plans, escaping hustle culture. That's what I'm doing this summer. Let me know in the comments what summer trends you are skipping this summer, which ones you're actually loving for real, because summer does not have to be a performance. We can enjoy summer like we used to when we were kids and just simply have fun without being so concerned about our appearance and our aesthetic and everything like that. It can just be good. It can be fun. It can be relaxing and it can be slow. And it can be a time that's more filled with loved ones rather than time that's spent looking at ourselves in a mirror. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. God bless you all. And until next time.